Everyone, so I saw this video over on Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings channel, and I just thought it was such a great tag to do, and even though she didn't tag me, I'm still gonna do it anyways just because I think it's a fun tag, and it is the book buying habits tag. So question number one is, where do you buy your books from? I generally purchase my books from either Amazon Marketplace or Book Depository. Unfortunately, where I was living previously, local bookshops are just not really an option, and I haven't really had time to explore local bookshops in my, where I'm currently living, which is in Ottawa, which is the capital. There's not a lot, from what I've done some research into local bookshops, and there's not a lot, and just because I have kind of read through a lot of the main major classics, which tends to be the selection that people have, that bookstores tend to have, it's just easier for me to look them up online and then get them delivered. So yeah, I generally order online. Question number two is, do you ever pre-order books? And if so, do you do this in-store or online? I don't really. A lot of the books that I'm reading have already been published, so there's not really much point in pre-ordering. I will say that I have pre-ordered a couple copies of the vintage Russian classics because they did only send me 2 of them, and I really, really want the rest. So I've ordered a couple of those for January, because they come out January 5th. And yeah, they're just absolutely gorgeous, but for the most part I don't pre-order. I'm not cool enough to be hip with the current releases, so I just don't pre-order. I'll be entirely honest. I find it exhausting to keep up with current releases. It's just trying to find out what's good and what I want to read. I get really lazy about it, so I just don't. Question number 3 is, on average, how many books do you buy a month? I don't really buy that many. It depends. During my birthday month, I bought 8 books, which is quite a lot. And certainly before I moved, I was buying a lot more. But now that I've kind of settled into my space and have a comfort level with how many books I want to own, I like it around the 200 mark, preferably below the 200 mark, is kind of my general goal. So yeah, I don't buy a lot of books unless there's something that I really want to read. So yeah, I don't. It depends. Obviously, I've bought a lot of books this month, but none of them have been for me. I've done a lot of Christmas book shopping. I think I bought 5 or 6 books, but none of them were for me. So, me. Question number 4, do you use your local library? No. Asterisk. Where I used to live, the local library was literally a room in a building. It wasn't anything that was useful to me, and I would have to pay to get access to the bigger public library, which also didn't have a great selection, that was kind of near me in the town that I was adjacent to. And I haven't set up a library card in Ottawa yet. I probably should, but once again, it's one of those things. I literally moved here and less than a week started work, started school, and just kind of have been focusing on that. Now I do use the university library a lot, especially for research, and I did in my undergrad as well. I always had books out from the library at York University where I got my undergrad, so I would always have books out, and not necessarily school books. With my master's, I've mostly just gotten school books out for papers and specifically targeted research. I haven't really had time to explore it. It is a smaller library, sadly, than York's library, so I feel it's not as good as the library of my undergrad university, but I do use the library, and I have nothing against libraries. It's far away from where I live. It's so much easier just to get books delivered directly to me, which is such a privileged thing to say. I can obviously afford to have books delivered to me, but I just don't buy that much, so it's never been I have my entertainment budget, and it's just never been an issue there. So, but libraries are great. I think more people should use libraries. Question number 5 is, if so, how many books do you borrow at a time? I think my limit at the university library is something 50, and I only have 10-15 books out at the moment. I'm finishing up writing papers, so I really need to go and return those books. So I actually just finished yesterday writing my last paper that I needed to write, and yeah, so I need to go and return those. But I get a 6-month loan period as a master's student, so it's not I don't really need to, so there's not any like motivation to return them, but I can take out a lot and for a long period of time, which is fantastic. Question number 6 is, what is your opinion on library books? Library books are fantastic. I think more people should use the library. If there was one closer to where I live, I kind of live on like in a suburb of Ottawa, so it's about a half-hour bus ride, 20-minute to half-hour bus ride to get to like the main branch of the Ottawa Public Library, and then carrying those books home are really heavy, so I've just been lazy and haven't done it. But yeah, I think more people should take out library books and use library books. I'm certainly, like, with keeping my bookshelves to a minimum, have been using like the online services a lot, so Overdrive and stuff like that, for like my Kindle, to cut down on the expense of buying books. So I think library books are fantastic. Actually, some of my Dickens, my Nicholas Nickleby, was a library copy, and it came and it was wonderful. And it's a UK library copy, and they take much better care of their books than the Canadians do. So yay, UK library books. Question number 7, how do you feel about charity shop secondhand books? Absolutely love them. I buy from Amazon Marketplace a lot, because a lot of my books are out of print and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend secondhand and like overstock books. When I used to live closer to Toronto, my favorite bookstore was BMV, which basically deals in used and overstock books. So like a lot of my Penguin English Library are overstock books. A lot of them are used. Some of my VMC classics, I'm just pointing to them on my shelf. A lot of my like Oxfords, a lot of my Black classics, which are sitting above my head there, are all used or overstocked, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Also a lot of my like modern classics, which are hanging out right there. And actually pretty much all of my, whatchamacallit, and I'm pointing at them, the Sherlock Holmes books are used in overstock, as well as some of my John Wyndham's. So absolutely love them. Do you keep your read and TBR piled together on the same book shelf or not? My books are all a jumble. I have them grouped, as you guys can have seen from my bookshelf tour. It's grouped by type. So like I have all my Penguin English Libraries together, I have all my VMC editions together, all my like vintage ones are on one shelf there, all of my like Oxfords and then my Black classics are all up there. So it's a mix of read and unread. It doesn't really bother me. I know what I've read, I know what I haven't read. I use the app Libib to keep track of my library and like keep track of what's in and keep track of like what's coming into my shelves and what's going out and what I've read and what I haven't read, to make sure like the ratio's right. So say I all of a sudden have a huge amount of books that I haven't read versus what I have read, I will like keep that in mind to stop buying books and start reading some stuff off my shelf. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. I can easily look it up if I've read it or not, and I also just know if I've read it or not. I don't have enough books to have that issue of like, I don't know if I've read this or not. Yeah. So question number 9 is, do you plan to read all of the books that you own? Yes. I don't know why that's a question? Really? I don't know. I would never buy a book that I wouldn't plan on reading. Like, all the books on my shelves, for various reasons or another, I have wanted to read, so I don't get why that's a question. Weird. Question number 10, what do you do with the books that you... wow, that's a weirdly phrased question. What do you do with books that you own that you feel you will never read, feel you did not enjoy? I get rid of them. I am not sentimental, as you guys saw from my unhauls. I have a stack of books that I'm actually taking to the bookstore from where I used to live because I'm going home at the end of the week. So I will take those in and get rid of them. I've got a whole stack that I've been planning on getting rid of and just kind of let them accumulate, and then when I go home I take them home and get rid of them. So yeah, I just get rid of them. I don't keep them on my shelf. They're not worth the space. I only have 2 bookshelves. I do have like, it's now like 3.5 empty shelves. Actually, no, if I put them all together, I would have like 4 to 5 empty shelves on my bookshelf, and I really like that. Like basically below my couch is just my library books for school and books that I'm getting rid of / books that I'm reading and like keeping track of for when I do my end of month reviews. So yeah, they're empty and it's great. Question number 11, have you ever donated books? The bookshop that I sell my books to will donate books that they're not taking, so yes. So definitely donate books. I obviously, because I buy a lot of books, or like have bought a lot of books, I want to get at least some money back from them, which is always nice. So I always just take them to used bookstore, and then when you like, they're like, oh, what do you want us to do with the books you don't want? I always just check donate. So yes, by extension, I do donate books. Question number 12, have you ever been on a book buying ban? Not really. I've like thought about doing them, and I've talked about doing them with like my friends, and I'm like, no, it never works for me. Book buying bans just, it's that, you know, the grass is always greener. You can't have what you want. And this is something that I find, because I am a minimalist, I find that it's just kind of one of those things that I struggle with a bit. If I tell myself I can't do something, then I just want it more. It's the same with like dieting and stuff. I'm not a fan of denying myself anything. It's just everything in moderation is more my principle. And the last question is, do you feel that you buy too many books? At the moment, no. In the past, I certainly have, like, especially when I started BookTube, I was buying like 20 books a month, which to me, if you do this, totally cool. No judgment here, but to me, that is ridiculous. There's no way that I read 20 books in a month. So I just, yeah, no, I do not feel like I currently buy too many books. I have in the past, but yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with my book buying habits right now. So that is the book buying habits tag. I tag Ange, Yamini, Katie, Nicola, and Vanessa and Tanya. I'm tagging 6 people because I think that they are fantastic and I want to hear about their book buying habits. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another Vlogmas video. Bye!